But first, the Prime Minister has dismissed concerns that people arriving from Islamic regions, including from Gaza, might bring their conflicts here. Have a listen to his response when asked about this by my Sky News colleague, Andrew Clennell.
It's hard to escape the conclusion that a lot of the rise in One Nation support is the belief of people there's been too much migration from Islamic countries to these shores. There are fears that people of that faith might want to bring their conflicts here. What do you think of that analysis?
Well, I've said consistently, the Australian Covenant is that if people have any prejudice or hatred, it's left at the Customs Hall when they arrive in Australia.
Of course, when you arrive in Australia, you simply take out your prejudices and throw them into the quarantine bin, along with any fruit or seeds or nuts you might have. We all know how it works in the Customs Hall. Anything to declare, sir? Yeah, I've got a packet of dried fruit I picked up in Lebanon and an affection for Sharia law that I got from Gaza. Do I need to hand those over? OK. Customs officials can search people's luggage for banned flora and fauna, but they can't search people's hearts and minds to ensure they're not going to take the Quran too seriously. But imagine if the PM was right, that one's commitment to hating on Jews or implementing Sharia law could be discarded like a forgotten avocado in a quarantine bin. Remember these guys?
Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews?
Well, next time they go overseas, on their return to Sydney International Airport, customs officials can strip them of their hateful views and they'll be as good as gold. I'm trying to work out whether Anthony Albanese is the most naive leader in the Western world and it's a highly competitive field right now, or whether he thinks we're stupid. Pauline Hanson made the point on Shari's program earlier this week that there's no way of knowing if a Muslim is moderate or if a Muslim is extreme. It may well be the case that the overwhelming majority of Muslims don't take the Quran or the example of Muhammad too literally, but how does anyone know? Sydney Airport has recently installed brand new X-ray machines, but unless I'm missing something, they don't scan for extremism. Imagine a small group of people in a particular country were carrying a deadly virus, but there was no way of knowing who was or was not infected. Seems to me it would be kind of prudent to say we can't take anyone more from that part of the world until we're sure that those arriving aren't going to spread the virus here, causing death and destruction. Well, the problem we have with the Islamic faith right now is that while 99% of Muslims might be brilliant, a small number do seem to be carrying a radicalised virus. And as the PM admitted this morning when talking about the alleged Bondi terrorists, one of whom did go through customs before being given residency here, we didn't know they were allegedly radicalised until the sound of gunfire echoed across Bondi Beach. And by then, of course, it was too late. The almost 30% of Australians who now say they support One Nation are not bigoted or racist or Islamophobic. Whatever that means. They're clear-eyed about a very real threat that's been present for decades now and that just 70 days ago claimed the lives of 15 innocent Australians. If only the Prime Minister was as clear-eyed. Telling Australians they have nothing to fear because people politely leave their Islamic extremism in the Customs Hall is frankly ridiculous. Pauline Hanson might not always say things the right way, but the Australian public are a lot more forgiving of clumsy language than they are of reckless naivety.